Hello and welcome back to House of Astralis. My name is Kayla and I am your cosmic guide here. As always, every reading is timeless, but sometimes I do have themes around them, like this new moon, for example. And I always intend for you to receive the messages that you need at this time for your highest and best good. Thank you in advance for any of the interaction you give onto this video. It helps me and my channel a lot, so thank you so much. And before we get into the tarot, I do want to talk a little bit about this new moon in Aquarius. This isn't just a regular new moon, this is a solar eclipse, and eclipses are like cosmic reset buttons. So they accelerate timelines, they close doors suddenly, and they bring endings that make space for something radically new. And this one is happening in Aquarius, the visionary, the innovator, the future builder. Aquarius energy is about the collective. It's about systems, community, liberation, technology, and new ways of thinking. So this eclipse isn't just asking, what do you want? It's asking, what future are you here to build? And because it's an eclipse, it carries disruption. But disruption isn't punishment, it's liberation in disguise. So we think about the tower in this sense. Something outdated is being dismantled, a belief, a group dynamic, a role you've been playing, a version of yourself that was built around fitting in instead of standing out. Aquarius doesn't care about tradition for tradition's sake, it cares about evolution. This eclipse is happening at the very end of Aquarius, which means it carries wisdom. You're not starting from scratch, you're integrating everything you've learned and initiating into something entirely new. There's also the strong theme about breaking impossible programming. Under this eclipse, limiting beliefs can crack open. Stories like, that's not realistic. People like me don't do that. I'm not ready. That's too big. Aquarius sees possibility where others see barriers. So, this eclipse may expose the mental software you've been running unconsciously, programs that keep you playing small. And yes, of course, this can feel uncomfortable at first. Realizing how much of your life has been shaped by old conditioning can be destabilizing. But this discomfort is the beginning of freedom. This eclipse is less about forcing something into existence and more about alignment. Alignment of your identity, your vision, and your frequency. This moment is part of a larger cycle and something that will echo into the next couple of years, 2028-ish. So what you initiate now, the thoughts you adopt, the community you align with, and the role you step into, that becomes tomorrow's baseline. This isn't just personal growth, this is collective participation. Aquarius reminds us that your breakthrough contributes to humanity's breakthrough, and the final energy of this eclipse is surrender. Eclipse energy isn't about control, it's about trust. Trust what shifts now, even if it feels sudden. It's clearing space for your alignment with a greater future. So, instead of asking, what if this falls apart, ask yourself, what if this is rearranging me into something truer? This eclipse isn't asking you to improve your life, it's asking you to revolutionize it. The only question is, what frequency are you choosing to embody? What frequency will you choose to present and carry out into the world and get back in return? Especially now with everything going on. Again, this is a timeless reading, but we can't help but not talk about current events, and this is just another example of how things are falling apart and things are being disrupted in our society to force us to make way for something better, something truer and more ethical. So with that, as this is a pick a card reading, I have two piles here and you can watch however you see fit, whatever pile you are drawn to. I have the Wiser Tarot here. It's basically just Rider-Waite-Smith, just some new colors and some new things in the background. And then for pile 2, I have the Lo Scarabeo Tarot. So I'll go ahead and let you pause here and let you have a second to pick which cards you want, which piles you prefer, and I'll see you in your pile. Hi, hello pile 1, welcome back. First up, we have got what is this eclipse redirecting in your life? And of course, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So pile 1, this tells me or confirms to me that if you've been going through a whole lot in your life at this time and you feel like things have been so chaotic and almost just unbearable, trust that this is for a reason. Like, this isn't happening just to happen. It's happening to shift a whole lot of things here and shift your next path. This is to get you away from what you were in, even though it's chaotic and it sucks and it may be crazy, but the Wheel of Fortune is happening for you. It's a good thing. This is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter wants to bring you the expansion and the wisdom, and unfortunately, we can only go through that if we go through the Tower moments. Fate is stepping in here to redirect you in everything, all sorts of directions, and maybe get you clearer on whatever path you are meant to be in, if you choose. I really like this circle imagery with this dependence card here too. And then we've got, what belief, role, or mental construct is ready to collapse? What is this outdated program? We've got the Seven of Swords. I love that this is the Swords too, and it shows the person in the card just going away from community. I think I've spoken about this before, and how just, sure, the community has planted some roots here, but it's okay to strive away, and it's okay to honestly leave this community behind, whatever that represents for you. If this community isn't aligning to your values and who you would like to be as a person, it's okay to walk away. Take your stuff and leave, and know that it is possible to break away from these chains and these stories and these programs that don't want to see you grow, that want to have you in a certain light and not have you be on your own and be your own person. So your role as someone who's just going to sit there and be quiet and conform to this program is ready to collapse. You're ready to leave. You are meant to be gone. Walking towards this Wheel of Fortune, walking towards this thing that will change your path, change your life for the better. It's really this descent card, descending down into the deeps and getting away from what everybody else maybe doesn't want to see, or whatever role they have, because that's their collective, their society, whatever role they are playing in, has, of course, a spot in humanity. We are all contributing to the collective, but you don't have to do it the same way that they do. You can be dependent and do it on your own in a way that looks better for you, that's more appealing for you. So with this, as you are ready to leave the old programming and take only what's yours and leave the rest behind, who are you becoming beyond this old conditioning? The Three of Swords is telling me, pairing with the person looking away from the Three of Swords and walking towards the wheel, it's telling me that you can overcome the hardship and the grief and the despair, and you're not going to let that affect you. You can carry the swords without bleeding out, without having to mentally just think on it all the time and let it affect you and your path. It's like wearing like a scar, like braving a scar and showing it off almost. You're able to heal and mend despite the hurt, overcoming the challenges and the rain in order to really stick with leaving. And yes, with all these changes in the Wheel of Fortune, that can cause some really like real heartbreak and despair and disappointment here, but ultimately it's like your body, like your soul, your spirit is ready to leave that. It's helping you walk towards this Wheel of Fortune. Jupiter is here to help you mend that and have the wisdom to oversee the pain and the hurt here, and know that, one, you are strong enough to overcome it, and two, it's okay. Like, you will be okay, and this is for the better. A lot of times you have to get out of the rain in order to see that. And I think that's just wisdom to carry forward, even if you can't fully believe that at this time. Lastly, how does this personal shift impact the larger whole? How do you, aligning to your path with all these changes, affect and impact the larger whole? We've got the Emperor. Okay, love. So this is that dependence card coming again, because the Emperor is taking back his throne, his sovereignty. So you being sovereign and independent. Oh, I think I used that wrong earlier. dependent. Oops. But you showing and being a role model for other people and taking back your own really shows the collective on a larger whole that we can too. We too can take back our stuff, back what was rightfully ours in the first place. We don't have to conform to what was told to us. We too, as a whole, a larger whole, can walk away from these communities who have set things in stone for us when we didn't ask it to be or we didn't contribute to that. We can let them fall away and go up the mountain with the challenges and all of the struggles that may come with overcoming our power and taking it back. We can descend and step onto this throne that is ours. The Emperor also doesn't take crap from anyone, so I think this is really good role modeling, being able to step into our own power, our leadership and authority here, and let ourselves wield that wisdom that Jupiter is wanting to give us and put that to action with Mars here as in Aries. Be initiative and first to, so it's like if you are the first to do something, maybe in your line, your community, whatever storyline this is for you, if you are the first one or one of the first to revolutionize something, this will give others the same authority and the same drive to do the same. Once they see someone else step out of line, quote unquote, or step out of the way that was set for them, they too can feel like they have a chance and they can do it. So this is a role of someone who is beginning to step into their own power despite all the craziness and the change and their own authority and be a good role model for others. Even if you didn't ask to be. Even if you didn't ask to be looked up to, this is your chance, your ability to show others despite that. But I wanted to leave you with a good fortune here. So we have embrace calm and clarity, let your intuition guide you. So that's also kind of like that inner compass, your inner authority and your own heart. What is it telling you? Sometimes you have to descend to really figure that out. Descend into your psyche and see what you've been dependent on. Other people's opinions or words of advice from other people, when instead you should let your own intuition guide you. And that comes with mental clarity, being able to mentally calm down the what if this, what if that, all the fears here. It's being able to let that calm down a bit so you can get clear and listen to your own inner wisdom, your own heart, and what it's asking you to do, your own authority. So with that, pile one, this is your reading. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for allowing me to read for you, and I'll either see you in the next pile or I'll see you in my next reading. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. First up, we've got what is this eclipse redirecting in your life? We've got the 4 of Cups, which I love to see. This is redirecting your emotional unfulfillment, redirecting things that really haven't been filling your cup, or they have, but they're just not nourishing enough. They're not providing you the sustenance that you need. And it's like knowing that inner knowing that you have that there is something better out here, something more aligned, something else. Because we can eat junk food all day and survive, but it's like your body knows there's other nutrients out there. There's other sustenance that'll better fill you up. So it's like that crave and that drive to know there's something else. So you are being redirected, and it may feel like maybe a loss in emotional connections to what you thought were working in the past, but ultimately maybe you've had to face that things don't work out for a reason. You can't continue to refuse not to look at your cups, your emotional depths, and see why it's not working. So I think you are going to be redirected into stopping that refusal and being forced to look at something, whether that's your like an inner self thing or your emotions. This definitely could happen because of some sort of, this says crisis moment, but it can be definitely something super small or something super large. And I think that's just your own internal work that you will have to ask yourself about, and asking yourself, what frequency would you rather be aligned to? What do you want to manifest? What do you want to do and be? And how have what you were currently on not working out for you? And how have they been hindering you? Don't refuse to look at it any longer, is some advice. What belief, role, mental construct, outdated program, what is ready to collapse? We've got the Seven of Wands. I just got a snippet of like a storyline here of someone who's trying so hard to build up these walls. Like it's always having to do it because you feel like it's impossible to open up or it's impossible to feel safe. So you feel like you always have to defend and defend and defend. So I think the impossible story here is that you can break free from this need and stop being in survival mode. This is kind of giving me that survival mode, just running with pure endurance on needing to survive, like that survival instinct, and doing whatever you can to fight for it. But if you look, there's actually no threat in the card. There's no person, animal, or being here, and yet the person on the card is ready to go with full force with a rod on fire, like ready to fight, but seemingly for no reason. So I wonder if this is something like I guess it is that construct in that mental story that we are told that it's impossible and always having to fight for it because in your head it is possible. Like the sense that it is possible you will not be safe, so you have to do everything that you can to defend that. But who are you becoming beyond the old conditioning if you were to look past this and maybe actually, well, I guess look past it, but also look through it and look into it so that you can figure out what's lying beneath the surface. What is this new identity of yours? We've got the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, I love this because this is that stability, that groundingness. This is maybe you would be like the safe grandpa, like if someone were to come to you, you could be someone who can give them wisdom and strength. You can hold it down and show others how to be safe. You can show yourself that you can be safe and stable. This person in the Seven of Wands isn't really so stable if they're always worried about the shoe to drop and worried about an attack. But the new identity, the Ten of Pentacles, it's kind of surrendering that and grounding anyways to feel at home and feel at peace within oneself. Grounding so that you can listen to your own body. And how does your personal shift impact the larger whole? We've got the Hanged Man. I think you being able to see something from a different perspective, whether it's your emotional fulfillment or why you may feel unsafe or what that need is underlying whatever the Seven of Wands represents for you, you will be able to look at it from another perspective. And others can follow suit. Like you can even maybe bring about new ways for the collective. Instead of following the same collective story about, yeah, it is so unsafe, you can see it from a different point of view and see that it's actually maybe more neutral than that. So the Hanged Man definitely has some wisdom there. The Hanged Man also comes with sacrifices, and I think this is being able to ask yourself what you are willing to sacrifice for your own personal well-being, and then what you are willing to sacrifice for the collective well-being on a larger scale. What are you willing to set aside? I'm getting drawn back to something that I had mentioned earlier with the Aquarius new moon bit, was that how when we realize how much of our life has been shaped by old conditioning can be really destabilizing. It can lead us into some sort of crisis, and maybe this is why you need to chill out a little bit. Just like take it easy, take it back, look at it from another perspective so that you can really understand how the chaos, the crisis may actually be a form of liberation. And your own personal shift in this story certainly ripples out to the collective because we are all having to face our own crises. And it really, maybe it's just like your words of wisdom, you being able to be that stable person in your own life and maybe people around you. You being stable enough and being able to see something from another perspective will help someone else also realize that these tower moments are good. Maybe not in the moment, but definitely after we can see the silver lining. And I think we just all need that person to be around and show us that it's not always the bad part. We don't have to refuse to be in the crisis because it's uncomfortable or bad. But I wanted to leave you with a good fortune, and we have a new beginning is on the horizon. Embrace it. Yes, very eclipse coded for sure, and a new moon, but new beginnings here, new beginnings in some emotional endeavors, and new beginnings in how you see the story and how it plays out. New beginnings in your identity, first of all. New ways to see things and see yourself, and new beginnings of the outdated programs. New collapses, which again, I can't stress enough is good. And in the moment it feels terrible and it feels so chaotic, but really take that time to ground within yourself and ground your worries so that you don't have to be in this constant survival state and so worried about it. And you can really just hang back like the hanged man and just let it come, let it be, and gain something from it. But alrighty, pile two, this is your reading. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate the chance to read for you, and I'll either see you in another pile or I'll see you in my next reading.